Welcome to Toffee TV. It is live at 5. We are live here on YouTube. We're live on Patreon. Get your comments in for anything you want to talk about. Anything. We're taking questions on astrodynamics. We're taking questions on the new star sign. We're taking questions on who will be relegated. We're taking questions on anything. Baz is currently, I'm just looking, he's doing this research on Kanye West and the Kardashians over the legal stance of their marriage at the moment, because I know it is a big, it's a big thing for you, this.
It's a big thing. KK taking up, talking to divorce lawyers as we speak.
As we speak.
And
we need to keep, we have to
on
be
the fly.
We have to be updated on that kind of thing, because that's the kind of thing that gets you big hits.
It's important.
It's important.
It's important.
What's going on Patreon? Are you even on Patreon? Are you on it?
I'm on Patreon.
Are you on it?
Adam Lilford says, any updates on Hoiberg? The minute someone says they don't want to play for us, the decision should be taken out of his hands and we move on. I hope this happens, or I foresee another Gylfi scenario. I hope we don't bid against our... Well, we will not, because quite clearly he wants to go to Spurs. So I think if that's the case, and he really has said, I want to go to Spurs, then we have to move on.
Yeah.
The only thing is, if we're hanging in there, why are we hanging in there? Are we getting encouragement? Is what's being fed more by Southampton trying to get Spurs in?
There's been different stories, hasn't there? I've read a couple of things, and one was... One story, well, there's a story I think come out this afternoon. I think it might be, is it the Mail? Not might be the Mail, might be another one. But it actually said the player wants to go to Spurs, and Spurs are...
Telegraph, I think.
Yeah, Telegraph, yeah. Wants to go there, but at the same time, Spurs are not like in a hurry to bid for him, but the player doesn't want to go to Everton. Then I seen another article, and again, these are just it's all newspaper talk. I'm just throwing these out there just to show you what's going on in terms of the way people want to spin it, which normally comes from football clubs and agents, is the player wants to go to Tottenham, but isn't against the idea of going to Everton. So, I suppose it's have Everton bid because they've had encouragement, or have Everton bid to show that they're serious. So that's the question, isn't it? But you're absolutely right. Everton have got to have a cut-off point on this.
Yeah.
They've got to be prepared to walk away. And that would be better for them if we do, because then we'll find out how serious the player is about the situation if Tottenham don't come in for him. The player probably thinks, I'm going to get me moved to Tottenham no matter what. Everton will walk away. Southampton will have to take an offer for him. The offer will be lower than what... Because Tottenham, I imagine, now will be sitting there going, just hold fire. We'll come in for you when we're ready. When Everton have left the table, we'll come in for you. Lower bid. Southampton won't have any alternative but to accept it. And everyone will be happy. That's probably where I imagine Tottenham are right now. What Everton don't want to be is that, like, spare part. The gooseberry. Going, oh, we'd really like you. Like, yeah, mate, you're in the friend zone, lad. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
there's not much you can do, is there? You can understand why he wants to go to Spurs.
Yeah.
You know, big club.
European football.
European football. They were in the Champions League final last year. He got a new ground. Jose Mourinho. There's a lot of plus points. It's not like, without being disrespectful to Brighton or Watford or whatever, it's not like wanting, I'm going to go there rather than Everton. Tottenham are above us in the pecking order, and we have to accept that. But I just hope we don't sit in them and just wait, and then it gets so far down the line and other players have moved who we could have got. It's a difficult one.
Yeah.
But I think someone said it in the Patreon comments, the truth will be somewhere in the middle of the two stories.
A lot of this will be Southampton trying to smoke Tottenham out by almost trying to be saying, oh, Everton, no. I mean, the stories yesterday saying he'd been to Everton's training ground and all this nonsense. They're trying to smoke Tottenham out to make a bid. A bid that's the same as what our bid is. Tottenham probably sitting there going, nah, why would we do that when the player obviously is saying through his agent he only wants to go to one place. They'll be expecting Everton to do the gentleman thing, which is to just walk away.
Yeah, what can you do? Terry McAllister says, hard to know who to believe on the Hoiberg stuff after last night. Usually won't go wrong assuming the truth is somewhere in the middle. Yeah, I just hope we're not paying the top end of the rumours fees. Well, Everton, what's coming out of Everton is they haven't bid since their opening bid. Thought to be somewhere between 14 and 18 million, so probably 17 million.
But we had this
but nothing else has come out of it.
But we had this all last year on transfer deadline with Zaha, when it was like, they've gone up, they've bid this and they've bid that. It was like, we hadn't bid.
Who's saying what then?
Yeah, who's saying these things? People might be saying we are prepared to up our offer or we're prepared to do that, but if you don't fax over...
He's got to decide whether... if he really is just saying to us, it's Tottenham I want to go to, then we need to move away. Yeah. Just go, okay, no worries, good luck, and off you go, and let Spurs and Southampton fight it out, and we'll go and get someone else. Because what I really want is whoever we're after, get them in by the opening day of pre-season.
Go and sign Alan.
Alan or someone younger, Sangari. Mikey John says, sack Hoiberg off. If we're his second choice, we need players who want to play for us and not choose us as a second option for the money. Yeah, fair enough.
Can I just throw this one in, because this is very important, because this was a super chat.
Come on.
Beats Box Dre Beats.
Yeah.
What a name.
Greatest name.
Says, would you guys take Harry Winks if they get Hoiberg?
Harry Winks is a good footballer, right? But for me, it's not. He doesn't do the same job as what Hoiberg does.
Yeah. Thank you, Beats Box.
Nice one, Beats Box. He is a good footballer, though, but I think Hoiberg has grown on me simply due to his numbers.
Because you've watched him, because we've been linked.
And I've watched him, we've linked him, so I've looked a bit more. And I've looked at what he does off the ball. And he does a lot of stuff that we don't do.
Let's talk about him for a minute. Why we want him. We sat here and we've watched a few games together. And we know what the deficiencies are at Everton. We know that we don't have a player in the middle of the park. Like, we've just watched, we watched the Villa game, we watched the Sheffield United game, right? And we were sitting here watching how many times both of those teams, and one team was a team well, they're not in the bottom three now.
But they were.
And then Sheffield United, who had this great midfield all season, and has been built on that. They get the foot in, they get niggly little fouls, they break the play up, they win the ball, and then give it to the good players who then move up, transition up the field. We don't have a player like that in our midfield. We have players who like to get the ball, but when we don't have the ball, don't press and don't win the ball back. And then that essentially nowadays is, you just can't do that. And so Hoiberg is one of those players. I wonder if we'd been having this discussion 4 years ago when we signed Garner.
16, yeah.
If we'd been sitting here weeks before the end of the season, Garner, I wonder how many people would have been sitting there going, Garner, relegated? In a relegated
say
team?
When we bought him.
Yeah, relegated team. What's he done? He's not. What's he going to add to the team? 4 years later, we're all inclined to have him back. He played yesterday for Paris Saint-Germain, a friendly against Celtic. He's obviously still massively part of their team. We know that since we lost him, our midfield is just like, it's almost like when we lost Lukaku now, when you think about it, like how the difference he makes to the team.
To the midfield.
So, I think that's the kind of player he is, really.
Yeah, okay. Andy says, Ped, the thing I was on about yesterday is called the Rosetto effect.
The Rosette. Is this?
Andy, Piv.
Oh, is this Piv?
Yeah. So he's just telling you.
About what though? Because I don't know what you mean.
We said a lot yesterday, Andy.
We did 4 live videos. I sat there listening to every word you said.
Hanging on every
This might be even something you said in the car on the way home when I dropped them off.
The Rosetto effect.
So you need to give me more. You need to give me more than that, mate.
Jack McCann says, I'm taking everything with a pinch of salt till Joyce says something. It's not a bad path to follow, to be fair.
Can I just break this footy chat up just for 1 second? I need to. I think this is really important. Lee is Lee. This is one of the worst shouts I think I've ever heard. Pot noodle plus baked beans, question mark, yes or no? No!
You've had to break it up.
No! No! Matty's from St. Helens and he's shaking his head behind the camera.
No.
He's like, they have ration foods in
That's-
St. Helens. And even he's shaking his head.
That to me that's up there with orange clubs, that. Pot noodle I wouldn't touch anyway. And I know people like it, I couldn't touch it, but then you throw beans in them, oh my God, no.
That's going to really
No.
gonna cause problems. No, that reminds me of, do you ever remember in that advert in the 80s? Remember that kid's kitchen thing? And there was a kid and she's making her mum and dad breakfast and she
Just throwing everything.
No, she gives them a plate and the plate's got Swiss roll and baked beans on it. But the baked beans, the sauce had gone on the Swiss roll.
No, stop it.
I can't even think of that.
Adam
That's
Prentice.
stuck in my mind.
Adam Prentice says he's seen the new pictures today from Sphere, a distant sun and 2 exoplanet, lads. Bloody awesome. I haven't said it.
But tell you what I did see.
There you go.
Have you seen that picture before of Elon Musk's underground
No, underground
station?
lair.
No, well, it could be. He's built those tunnels. I think it's in LA.
Oh, yeah.
And these cars, and it's like, but I still don't, like, just put trains in them. Or a bus. Because there's like cars, like, you're only going to get 2 or 3 people. And in this day and age, you're only going to get 1 because of social distancing.
That, yeah.
But why not have buses?
John Kerwin says, hi guys, Hoiberg or Alan?
Hoiberg.
Alan.
Okay. Andy's saying here in the comments, the town in Pennsylvania that we're all Italian and had no heart attacks. And people lived long lives. They stood him for 50 years.
Yeah, I remember the
This was off
conversation.
the back of the conversation that we had yesterday about this new Zac Efron program, which is on Netflix. It's really, really good. And there's an episode where they go. They're called the Blue Zones. They went to a place in Italy which is full. The village is full of people who've lived over 100, and they were trying to find out why. This program, Zac Efron's really good, by the way. So that's obviously that's got something to do. So is that the Rosetta thing?
At the Rosetta effect.
Okay.
There you go. Austin Linton says, do you think Leeds will spend big this summer and try and stay up next season?
I don't think they're gonna have a chance, are they? To spend big because I don't really see the targets out there.
They're having to go to court over Kevin Augustin, aren't they? Whether they have to pay that 18 million or 21 million to Leipzig for him, which was in his contract that they signed. So I don't know. The Gracia says hello. Flemo 1878 says, has your badge came off your Everton shirt yet? Seen a lot of that today, haven't we? It's not great. That
It's only been it's the training top. It's only been washed once. You know what's weird though? On the training shorts, the Hummel logo is stitched, and the Everton badge is stuck on, and on the top, they're both stuck on. So why would you embroid the Hummel badge?
done to not carry water, isn't it? I don't know. Make sure you're hitting those likes. Thank you very much.
If it all falls off.
Mikey John says, has Michael Keane done enough for a new contract?
It depends, doesn't it, on whether we could bring Gabriel in. If we could bring Gabriel in, I'd sell Michael Keane. Just because we've got Branthwaite, we've got Gibson, we've got Mason Holgate, Yerry Mina. I just think with that 2 years left, it's either contract or sell. I don't think there's anything else you can do. So
True, yeah. Alfie Boy 0206 as bad. Do you think personally we will get Gabriel? I honestly don't know, mate. He's got 4 or 5 clubs apparently to choose from. I don't know whether it's Lille playing a game and going, oh, these are getting them and they're getting them. I'm not sure. What I do know is Everton want to, and I've said this many times on here, Everton wanted to renegotiate the terms with Lille. We'd agreed with them we'd agreed a deal with them in February, I think it was. And obviously COVID happened and it was too expensive and we wanted to renegotiate those terms for a cheaper deal. So, I don't know.
is this not without it being played out the same way, is this not a similar situation to the Hoiberg situation?
But he hasn't come up and said the only
No,
one
that's
to
what I'm
sign
saying.
for Everton,
That's what I'm saying. I've got a feeling that lad wants to play for us. I've got a feeling that lad has come, give us word that he'll sign for us, done a medical, and wants to sign for Everton. I think he's been convinced to sign for Everton, and I think it's a case of now trying to do something. I think that listen, I've got no idea, but you hear all these other stories, all these other rumours, all these things about Napoli and other teams getting involved, but yet nothing's moved on that, and it feels like other people are trying to move the pieces on the table, but the lad, without saying it, still wants to come to Everton and is dragging his heels till Everton can. And it almost feels similar without without using the press. So
maybe
players are like that, aren't they? Players, once they make, it's like anything. If you make your mind up and you want to do something, you want to buy like a new car and a new couch or whatever. No, but once you've done that and then someone says, "Oh,
Shane Gabriel's like a couch."
He's like a chaise longue.
Chaise longue. Okay.
I think once you make a decision in life and you're comfortable with that and you're looking forward to that, and then someone says for whatever reason, "Oh, you can't."
This is different.
You'll still try and find a way, won't you? You'll make compromises. So I still think he wants to sign.
Anthony Maguire says, any clue when the Piv will be back? We'll be interested to see his opinions on the people we've been linked with. He's back in tomorrow, I think.
Is he?
Yeah.
Does he know that?
He told me, so there you go.
There you go.
Matthew Lamb putting alphabeti spaghetti in.
Right. Andy McGregor. Please stop putting one thing in the comments.
He said he was going to spam you.
But that's what he is. He's spamming us. Stop it. Stop spamming.
He's making it like dramatic pause.
He's like, what he's doing now, he keeps on would you rather and then putting all things in. But like, I can't keep up with them because the comments move too fast.
They go too quick, don't they? Glenn Watson says, Baz, if they serve dulce de leche style porter beer at the ground, would you be tempted? Yes, I love dulce de leche. I would be tempted. Would you, Glenn? It's the important thing. Would you?
You couldn't be tempted.
Why?
Because you drive.
I could have one, couldn't I?
Why?
No, I could try it.
What's the point in having one beer?
Because I can easily have one beer and sit in a pub while someone drinks 15 and it wouldn't bother me.
What's the point in having one beer though?
To try the dulce de leche. Well, I'll do it when it's the time and I don't drive.
Son's in the car.
My mate might drive and I'll then try.
You're reckless.
I'm not reckless. I don't even drink. I have a coffee or a Coke.
Exactly. So if you have one and you don't have anything to eat, it could have an adverse effect on you.
Okay. Glenn, I'll try it if it ever comes in the ground. And me mate's driving. No, me mate Andy's driving. I'll try it then. Will be the only time I try it. Just for clarification. Everton Clip says, do you reckon Max Aarons is overrated? I don't think he's overrated. I think he looks like a very good prospect. I don't know how good he will get to, but he looks like a really good player to me. But I don't know. Max says, do you really think we need another centre-back? We've already got Keane, Mina, Holgate and potentially Brantwaite.
People want to see my socks. Captain America. But the stance, has anyone else got stance socks? They're amazing. I mean, they're like £14 a pair, but they're amazing stance socks, mate. They're absolutely the best socks. They're so cushioned and so nice. Oh, I've got loads of them.
Okay.
Oh, they're lovely. Don't have to have like designs on them, but they do like Pixar ones as well. Which are dead smart.
Lynn's on a prayer mat for West Brom tonight. Lynn is obviously a big West Brom fan, isn't she, Lynn? It's so nerve-wracking that must be. Lynn, all you've got to do is win. If you win, that's it. You're up. There's nothing Brentford can do about it.
Think about it like this though, Lynn, haven't you? If you get promoted, not strictly this time next year, but at the end of next season, you'll be cursing them all, won't you? So do you really want that heartache of a season?
Don't be trying to wind Lynn
Wouldn't it just be better to be like
Lynn's great.
All right in the Championship? No, I'm actually talking against myself now, aren't I? Because you can say that about Everton.
Yeah, exactly. I think he's pulling your leg, Lynn.
Gareth
Hughes says he'd obviously cost more, but Grealish would transform that team.
We've done a video on Patreon, and it's going to go out straight after this on Patreon. It's only available on Patreon. So if you're on Patreon, like there's a lot of you on Patreon, but if more of you were on Patreon, don't pull faces.
I'm laughing because you've mentioned it in
right. If you're on Patreon, there's a link in
word.
the description to Patreon. Just done a brilliant video, it's like nearly an hour long of players that we would take from the relegated sides.
So Gareth, you'll be able to
Jack
watch it
Grealish,
after this.
I looked at his chances created, stats.
Piv's going to be
and
double
Piv,
taking here.
Piv will be sitting there going, my work has been done.
Yeah.
Right. His chances created are unbelievable. I genuinely think he would transform our team if we could get him. I'm not saying we could get him, of course. But we also discussed who would get him, which is quite interesting when you think about the teams and who needs players. I honestly think Jack Grealish would transform Everton's team into being a slightly okay one to a not bad at all one. So, there you go.
Fair play.
That's on Patreon later.
Matt Sumner says, latest story I've read is the club are looking to withdraw their offer for Hoiberg as he isn't showing signs of wanting to go elsewhere. If true, it will be sensible. Well, that's it. We don't, I think Terry said before, the truth's probably somewhere between, isn't it? David Havel says, who would everyone rather stay up, Villa or Watford?
I'd rather Villa stayed up because I don't like Watford's behaviour.
Okay.
Simple as that. I want the Gillette man back. But we did win 3 times against Watford this season, so you've got that in the, you know,
in the bank. Spirit_Blue says, reporting the Echo by Chris Beasley last night confirmed the club only bid 14 million. No, he isn't interested and have moved on.
Sorry, you lost me. Echo.
At the Echo.
Sorry.
Let's make out we are in a transfer saga when we are lightly working. Let's not make out we're in a transfer saga, rather.
We're not. We're literally not sitting here being.
No, I don't know. I think he just means in general.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here going, Hoiberg is a good player and I understand why Everton won him. I think I've seen people comparing him to like Morgan Schneiderlin and stuff like that. I understand why we won him. I'm not fussed, and I'm certainly not getting excited by the whole thing. No. I just hope that Everton have got other targets.
Gazzy FC says, evening lads, not football related, but being hooked on a series on Netflix called Kingdom. Have you seen it? No.
No, what's it about?
No.
I tried watching Warrior Nun, and yeah, it's like Spanish, but it's not Spanish. It's all in English, but it's still got that like money heist feel about it when they talk, but they're speaking English.
Yeah.
Like the girl who's the main character, she's from Portugal, and it's her first ever English speaking role, so I don't quite know if she understands anything she's saying. And it sort of throws you a little bit off, like the money heist one does. Yeah. So it was all first episode.
I'm watching Queen of the South at the moment, which is all right.
The comedy show. Oh no, hang on, Queen. No, that's
about cartel. It's obviously.
What am I thinking of there?
Don't know. You're thinking of Queen of Kings.
Queen of King, yeah.
Kevin says, all right, lads, eventually join Patreon and worth it. Well, Kevin gets me through the working from home each day. Keep up the good work.
So many videos on Patreon.
Gary Ward says, welcome aboard.
Gary Ward is our official
welcomer.
Yeah. You know, the people like who stand by the door and like shops like the Gap and stuff. I don't know if he's sitting there with like a 6-pack out. You know, like Zac Efron in I've seen Neighbours.
Oh, with the
when he at the end he's like fails uni, he's just standing outside with his.
And now he's thingy only.
He can't do that anymore now, though, can he? Because he's only got his beach bod,
which is amazing. It's that bod, you mean?
Yeah, Abercrombie and Fitch.
Yeah. Like a nightclub whenever you go. Hollister's the same.
Never go to Abercrombie and Fitch in Paris.
Why?
Because it's on the Champs-Élysées, but it's like this old building, and you have to walk down like this gravel drive.
Yeah.
And then you walk into and it's on the Champs-Élysées, but it's off the Champs-Élysées. So you feel like you're walking to a stately home. And then you got like a lad outside like that, and a girl. I went and they will look at you as in like, that's not going to fit you.
Yeah.
That will never fit you. Like I've never felt, and that like you go to Paris and sometimes you will go in the nice shops or sometimes you won't. But I've never felt as uncomfortable
as you did.
I did in that shop. I felt like completely. I was just. They made me feel like I was completely wrong. Everything, like from what I was wearing to my shape. Oh, it was horrible. It was horrible. It was like my missus picked up a coat, and she knew it was like a lad's coat, and the girl was just like trying to make her not buy the coat. The girl's like, you know that's a man's, don't you? I felt like the girl's gonna go, I'm not gonna sell that. I can't sell that to you, because they've got like a thing of like, we don't want you wearing our gear.
Yeah.
Oh, it was horrible.
Where are we? Adam Conroy says, afternoon lads, how are we? Did you see the BBC News story about Ochiru Batbol, the footballer from Mongolia? It's all about how he made it as a professional after being scammed by a fake agent at the start of his career, and he's now plays for the best team in his home country of Mongolia. A feel-good football story. I haven't seen it. Sounds good though. Sounds a story of determination.
Make a film.
And I like that. Cameron Farrell says, all right lads, first day as a patron. Gary Ward says, welcome aboard.
Oh, he's like that with his six-pack out.
Ready.
Or is that from Dad Bod?
Yeah. Cameron Farrell is wondering who'd be our preferred choice for right wing. Lozano at Napoli would be a good one. I've said this before, I like Chenzel Under, but he's left-footed. He likes to cut in a lot, and I don't know whether we'd want that from both sides. The player having to come inside all the time, rather than having one who goes on the outside. But them are two that I'd like to look at. Buanga's all right at St Etienne as well. He's another one, but
just making names.
Yeah. Dennis Buanga at St Etienne.
Gareth McKinn says, hi lads.
Yeah.
Currently listening to you on the sly and work. Got the headset on, pretending I'm on calls.
Is right,
Keep
mate.
up the good work. Yous are the best
YouTube?
tonic for midweek doldrums.
Is that on YouTube?
That is on YouTube.
There you go.
What else is it? Patrick says the BBC version of Dracula, created by Mark Gatiss, is on Netflix now. It's class. Have you seen it?
No.
I did. I watched it. It's 3 hours and a half, and it's really good. The girl, there's a woman in it. I think she's in all 3 episodes. It's set over 3 different time periods of like Dracula going from like the old times to like slightly in the future, I'd say, just slightly. And she's like an English. She's not a comedian. But she plays like a Dutch nun. She's brilliant in it. It is really good. Like it is slightly different to what I've seen before of.
You didn't ask the Pips things. Which would you prefer to spend 3 days on? The Orca from Jaws,
because they were all broke up.
Space Station in Alien, or the Outpost in The Thing.
Orca in Jaws.
Yeah.
I could easily sort that out. Like, I'm not going to go to... The Thing is The Thing, I think, is one of the most disgusting films I've ever seen. And I think I saw it when I was about 9. And probably didn't even... To me, then, it probably felt like an extreme version of Sesame Street. And I haven't been able to watch it since. It's a disgusting film. Really is disgusting. Alien, no. Who wants to be on a ship with an alien?
What's disgusting? Sorry.
The Thing. Have you never seen The Thing?
Oh, The Thing.
Oh, it's disgusting. It's disgusting. Yeah. I hate stuff like that now. It's properly like vile like horribleness about it.
Okay.
No, it is. It's hurt me.
Yeah.
No, like the boat. I think I could go on the boat. It's a bleeding shark.
Yeah.
It's a shark. It's a rubber shark. I love the ride. The ride
comes at you though, doesn't it?
It does.
It does come at you.
The ride in Disney's brilliant though, because in Universal, because it's not very good if the kid on the boat isn't good. Like if he doesn't play his part, it's rubbish.
Yeah.
Like he has to play his part. I remember going on it once.
Not in Orlando anymore.
No, it's gone, hasn't it? But I remember going, and the first one was brilliant. He hit it, and the second one he missed his cue for one of the things, and it completely just throws you out. Because all it is, it's exactly the same. It's just a big rubber shark. But if he misses his cue, it just feels it's rubbish. But when he was getting into it, it was really good. But it was boss that Amity. I loved Amity in Universal. Loved all that.
They just haven't got the room, have they? They haven't got the room.
Harry Potter.
John Kelly said there's a rumour going around that you two are New Yorkers putting on exaggerated Scouse accents.
New Yorkers? I mean, I wouldn't mind if I was a New Yorker. Yeah. And exaggerated Scouse accent.
I wouldn't put a Scouse accent on if I was a New Yorker.
But that's not. But an exaggerate. Our accents aren't exaggerated, are they? We can be going, yeah, and
don't.
Aye, lads. Hope you're both well. What formation do you think you'll use in a majority next season? See, that's an exaggerated. Our accents are not exaggerated, sir.
Where are we here? Gareth Hughes says the Balassi interview changed my opinion of him. Just shows how little you know.
His life then?
No, didn't change his life, just his opinion. Just shows how little you know of what goes on. Hope the lad gets a shot. Also, is it the first time a current player has done an interview? If so, again, respect. At least he's trying. Could easily sit there picking up massive wages. We spoke to Seamus Coleman. You spoke to John Joe Kenny as well. But the Balassi one was a proper interview. Seamus Coleman, we were given 10 minutes and they had to see the questions and stuff.
The first time it was a no holds barred. He didn't know the questions. We just said what we wanted to ask. We asked what we wanted to ask. He answered how he wanted to answer. There was no one looking over your shoulder from the football club. No one saying you couldn't ask this question or that question. It was a fully unauthorised, 100%, nothing cut out interview, and he loved it.
He did.
He loved it.
Good lad. Gazzy FC says, I try not to speculate on transfer rumours. I'll believe it when a player is photographed in Everton gear, sat next to Carlo and Brand signing a contract. Good way again to do it.
Yeah. Hoiberg, sorry, I've seen a couple of people ask this. Hoiberg was not at Bayern Munich the same time as Ancelotti. He left the summer. Ancelotti came in, I think it was 2016. So they've not worked with each other before. Andy says, would you like a hype man like the fella at Napoli, who was amazing?
Well, to get the crowd going.
We had that, didn't we, with the man with the mic? He just got buzzed off.
Oh, Bally with the thing. Our fans wouldn't have it, or a certain section of our fans wouldn't have it. Yeah. Adam Lilford says, given last night's surprise Villa win, if Watford go down, I wonder if that would make the Corey a more viable option in terms of asking price.
I mean, you could just watch our video on Patreon a bit later on.
Well,
and
he
get all
Patreon.
your answers.
It's Adam.
It's on Patreon.
Yeah. Keith Powell says we paid 25 million for Schneiderlin, didn't we?
20.
Paid 20, but get your point. Look what we ended up with there. Hoiberg would hope if he did come, he wouldn't end up like Schneiderlin, just fearful of us repeating our mistakes. If he wants to go to Spurs, yeah, leave him. We're not good enough. Don't want him jogging around on big money. Mike Barrett says, oh my God, I'd forgot about that advert. The nightmares have all come flooding back to me. Swiss roll and beans for humanity.
Yeah, someone else remembers.
Matt Summers says, Down to Earth is a fantastic series. Wish it were longer.
Yeah.
TR33 Top says, hi lads, what do you think the PL needs to do to improve the quality and consistency of referees? What can Everton do not to be assigned the truly awful ones for their games? They could actually just get better referees. But I still think ex-players, and when I say ex-players, I'm not talking about Premier League.
In the video room.
It's definitely VAR. I'm not talking about Premier League level footballers or Championship level footballers, but there must be lads in League 1 and League 2 who have made enough money to be all right. They're not on loads, but would welcome 140 grand a year like these referees get to sit in a VAR room.
Train them up. Take a year to train them up.
Get them in.
When we watched the Sheffield United game, what we noticed was how many times Sheffield United players got away with the kind of fouls that footballers know are fouls, but referees don't know. Like the nasty things, the little standing on your ankle, the things that almost provoke players to retaliate. Those kind of fouls, I hate them. But referees just don't ever get onto them. No. They're so thick. So I think in the VAR room we should have ex-players, but obviously not just ex-players. Ex-players who've been fully trained over a year to use it all and know the rules of the game and everything. Because I think that's massive. I think it's really massive. Knowing like how to interpret rules. And I think one of these things, I think what ex-players would really help with is the handball rule.
Yeah.
Understanding when a player has done something and it on purpose, and handball's a big thing. So I think that should be the way forward. And if you want referees, go to like Italy or somewhere and get some.
Stuart Thompson says, thanks for sending the address. The Jaffers are in the post. Alex Stevens says, hope all is well with you. Wanted to see your thoughts on the constant complaints from Evertonians who say they don't want us signing a player who isn't 100% committed. in wanting to play for this club. There will be few and far between who will see us as appealing offer with no European competition and finishing outside the top half. Having Ancelotti mitigate some of the disinterest as he can coerce players to want to come, but seems silly to expect players to want to come here without offering higher wages. Also wanted to see who you objectively think is the more appealing club, Everton or Tottenham. But Tottenham is, in my objective view, at this moment.
I do as well. I do.
Just because of the last few years, the way they've been, higher up.
You were a football and you look at Everton, the way we've been messing around and stuff. I don't think you could be bothered with that. I think what we need to do is try and get as many of these players that we're trying to sign in a room with Carlo Ancelotti, so we can talk to them, so we can go through what he wants.
Give us his vision, yeah.
Lynn, big up.
Gary Ward needs an official "Hi, my name is" badge, he said.
Lynn has said she's watched the Balassi video and she said even she's on Patreon. She's a West Brom fan.
Lynn's great.
Dale Buckley's just joined us on Patreon, so big up Dale.
It is right, Dale, lad. Toffee Boy says, agree with you, Ped, on Gabriel. I also think he wants to join us, as he'd agreed in Feb. Could be that the post-lockdown performances, both Bramthwaite at the back and an awful midfield, have changed priorities.
Of course.
Possibly.
Yeah.
Keith Powell said Grealish had a stonking game last night against Arsenal. James Parry wants Watford to go down because there can only be one Z-Cars in the Premier League.
Yeah.
Kingdom is based around an MMA gym, and there's all kinds of mayhem going on. That's from Gaz.
Okay.
And Simon Rouse likes that Sarr from Watford, but it'd be hard to deal with them. After Silva.
Would it really? Would it though? Because if they go down, I imagine they'll work with anyone who takes them. Someone just said, who is it? I think it was G. Carlin, says Sandro Tonoli. He likes him.
Sandro Tonoli.
Brescia. He's at Brescia, isn't he? 20-year-old.
I've heard of the name. I'm not going to sit here and tell you I know about him.
The Piv might know.
The Piv might. The Piv will know.
I mean...
I've heard of him, but I'm not fully up on him, I'm not going to lie. But the Piv would be. No problem at all with that.
Talking about the Piv, he says he would like to know who would you rather go for a pint with? Han Solo, Indiana Jones, Thor, or Batman?
Han Solo.
Okay. See, Thor would drink you under the table for a start. Batman would be quite intense, wouldn't he? He'd be like, go to the bar! Like, you know what I mean? Like, you'd be like, oh, all right, I haven't finished mine yet. Calm down, will you? Han Solo would drink like blue milk and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'd go with Indiana Jones. I think he's more. I think you get both sides of the tail with him.
I think.
Is he erratic though? I mean, have you got proof of that?
There's films.
His films are erratic, or he's erratic.
Well, he's in the film. He's erratic in films.
Is he though?
He is a bit erratic.
He's a professor. He's a professor of archaeology that can also fight Nazis.
With a whip.
See, I won all day with that. Man just sitting down going, tells a story about the last time you battered a Nazi. I'd be all day with that. Isn't that... That's what I want to go and have a bevy with.
Terry McAllister's never seen The Thing, and he wants you to elaborate on what's vile about it.
Basically,
intrigued.
The Thing is about it's about a gaff in I think it's the North Pole, and when they get there, these people, they find that everyone's dead, and there's an alien there, and it's a shape. This alien basically goes into people and starts not shape shifting as such, but it gets into people and mimics them. It's a mimic basically. But some of the things, it's like, so this fella's, there's a scene. So they're doing an autopsy on a fella, right? So they crack his stomach open, or standard autopsy, crack him open. And they're delving in there. But what they don't know is this person's really the alien. So he sticks his hands in, and the alien goes, meh, 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 and this fella's arms don't come out. And it's horrible. It's absolutely vile. And there's all stuff like that. It's like there's loads. This fella's head comes off, and then it turns into like a spider. Oh, it's horrible. Absolutely vile.
Okay.
Like proper, it's proper, yeah, no, not for me. Sorry.
Right. Matthew Edwards bought a Carlo Fantastico hoodie the other day, and it looks fantastic. It's right, Matthew.
Phil Williams, Ped, I'm surprised the photo of the ground you have doesn't drive your OCD mad with the goal not on the goal line.
It's the training goal.
It's a training goal. That's a training goal.
That's a training goal. There's the other
There's
goal
the other
there,
goal
Phil.
there.
Just there. It is there. That's just the shooting.
That's just a training
That's
goal.
the shooting end goal. One at the street end as well.
It's just a training goal, that.
Where are we? We've said that. Lynn says, send Tom Davis to us and we can sort him out for you. We released Gareth Barry today, so we'll send him up to you later.
Gaz Baz left, has he?
Gone.
I wonder if he went in a taxi.
Possibly.
No.
And he drove it. G. Carlin 199 says, please don't get under Everton. Okay. Okie dokie. Everton clips, where are you getting the questions from? In the chat.
What's he on?
I don't know. On YouTube, that is.
Cam's in the chat, telling everyone to get the likes up.
Cam is?
Yeah.
Cam's the man, isn't he? Cam is the man. We will have Cam on soon. Where are we?
Real Tour says, which band or artist would you like to open Bramley Moor before our first game? Paul McCartney. If you're gonna go
big.
Go big. Don't mess about. Don't mess about. Go straight in for Paul McCartney.
Singing Let It Be.
That just Hey Jude the gaff off.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
As we bring out our new signing, Jude Bellingham,
who's amazing, who's now the best player in the world, but he wanted to play for Everton. There you go.
3-year plan.
All right, lads, would you take Hudson-Odoi from Chelsea? Possibly.
Yeah.
Good
I
player.
would.
Young as well, right age.
I mean,
if we brought in Gabriel, would you rather see Mina or Keane sold? Say Keane, just because he's got a year left and he's older than Mina.
the Piv says, I do know Sandro Tonali well. We all knew that. Italian 6, who best in a 3. It's a risk asking Italians to come to the Premier League and adopt. Jorginho, struggling at times despite having vastly more experience, should put teams off. Well, there you go. This is the Piv. He just walked in. He found this fire. He brought loads of cold water with it. And he poured it all over the fire. That's exactly what the Piv's just done. He's pived it off. We have a saying in our group chat. It's called being pived off. It's when someone gets excited about a player and the Piv just comes in and he pivs it off because he just deflates the situation.
And me, just like within seconds.
Comes in with like 80-12 stats. He's like, nah, he can't sign because he loves his dog and his dog wouldn't get a passport to come over and live in your country.
And the dog's XG isn't good enough.
And the dog's XG is not good enough. His catch the ball ratio is too low. And he just destroys you in about 7 seconds. He's got 6 toes, so he can't fit into this style of boot. And he ruins it. He actually ruins it. Like, I can imagine the Piv sitting down and going like, we're going to watch like this Disney film and then go through why Sleeping Beauty could never have done that because of this sort of thing. You know what I mean?
The numbers weren't
You know what I mean? He'd be like, yeah.
She can only play in the 3.
Buzz could never have flew like that because the wing ratio to the air just wouldn't contribute having Woody on his back. He'd destroy that. Yeah. He'd destroy it for you.
There you go. Richard Folk says, do we all want Hoiberg or are we all doing that we've bid so we don't want anyone else to have him?
Yeah.
I reckon there's a bit of that as well.
Evertonians are amazing for that.
I reckon there's a bit of that, definitely. Gaz says he'd like more players with the attitude Richarlison has, isn't scared to square up to people and defend his teammates. The one with the stamp on Dean, for instance, straight in. Spot on, Gaz. Ped, are you talking about the 1980s, the thing, or the 50s version? That's from Gary Ward.
The 80s, I don't know anything about the 50s one. There's a prequel that they made about 10 years ago as well, which apparently is like, it is the prequel to it. No, the 50s one, I've never seen the 50s one. Because I'm not an old man. Mitchell. What does the Piv think of Hasselhoetel? Has to be up there with the manager of the year. I rate him very highly. Don't start the Piv on it, the Hasselhoetel.
Piv loves him.
Oh, God.
Piv loves him. Piv's got those Klopp life-size things that are going round. Piv's got that of Ralph. Definitely. Cam says, even the lads looking forward to getting back in the studio. Was right, Cam. Surely we should move on from Hoiberg now. We might have done. But yeah, I agree. If he's not going to come, we've really got to start making those cuts and just go, right, he's not the answer now. Let's go to him and get him sorted, because that's
Sophie
how
says,
important it is.
would use, and she has said use,
Yeah?
take John McGinn. She said I would.
No.
He's a Naismith, Scrappy Doo kind of player, isn't he?
Yeah, he'd be good for the squad, but...
Squad.
But Holly Fletcher says Diego Dalot, hopefully better upgrade than Sadibi. Well, he's been mentioned, hasn't he? Holly, he is a decent player. Dalot, I've always thought he looks like he's got loads of potential, but we'll just see. Mitchell says, is Ancelotti promoting a left-footed centre-half in Branthwaite just an extra push to the board to invest in one?
No, I think he's just good enough. From all the feedback we'd had since he signed, is that they were really pleasantly surprised with how good he was. You know, you bring players in and you bring them in, and you know, he played a couple of games for the under-23s, but I think he's going to have a trajectory like Dominic Calvert-Lewin, like Mason Holgate, like John Stones. He's going to be one who's in and around the first team. Will he go on loan for a year? Maybe. But I don't think it'll be like a loan for a year and then, well, what do we do with him? It'd almost have to be like Seamus Coleman. A loan for a year and then you're in the team, mate. Because, listen, I know he's only played 3 games as such, or competed in 3 games, but they have to be like, get this right, don't they, with him? I know we spoke about it yesterday on our live as well. They have to get this right, don't they? They have to, like, get that career path spot on with a player like him, because he already looks like he fits in to the first team squad. Does that mean Gabriel would block his path?
Yeah. I don't know. No, I'm reading the comments. I know what you're saying. It's again, like we said yesterday, it's potential versus someone who's doing it now, isn't it? You've got Gabriel, who's played in the Champions League. He's only 22 himself, left-footed, quick, good in the air. And what you're saying is, if we get him, then it blocks Branthwaite. I don't know whether you can look at it like that, because say Branthwaite doesn't get any better than he is now, whereas Gabriel's ceiling's higher. So it is a tough one. Like it's a defo a tough one. Where are we?
I mean, G. Carlin's decided that because we didn't think that Italian player was amazing, that he'd start abusing us in the comments, which is a strange reaction, really. Because it's all just opinions, isn't it?
Yeah, no one's opinion's right, is it? You just your opinion on someone. Kevin Morales, his God asked me, was he underrated for us? Kevin Morales had a lot of ability, but was never ever consistent enough for Everton. And it got worse, which is sad. Where are we? Shiv says, is Leeds replacing Bournemouth from West Brom? Forest possibly coming up. Good for the league, big teams and all that. I don't know. I'm Leeds are they are what they are. Forest are a good side, a good club rather. West Brom have been up loads, haven't they?
I think the Premier League I think they love Leeds coming up because it's the first time in 16 years. They've got, big fan base. There's nothing really round them, so that they love that Newcastle thing, because it allows them to create this thing of like they're a big club when they're just one team in a city. But I also think they would love a Brentford coming up as well. Brentford are getting
a story.
Brentford are getting a new ground, so they get a new ground. It's all nice and shiny. The idea of how Brentford got up with using a lot of the Moneyball thing, I think Sky would love that. That would give them. I think
got a different angle.
It's all about narratives football now, isn't it? It's not just about the game on the pitch. It's about everything else. Say it loads. It's why Sky have like a cast now of people who come on with the Yadar and all this kind of thing for Souness and Redknapp's the Housewives' favourite, and then the Keane's the angry one, and then they have the more youthful sort of so what they need on the pitch are new stories as well, and Brentford's very much a new story. A football club who are not traditional, who do things in a different way, gives them something new to talk about. Graham Souness can poo-poo how they, the way they did things, and then they'll get someone young who'll back up the way they've done things. You Carragher and all this. You need stories, so I think they'd love Brentford. Lynn, apologies. West Brom are boring for Sky because they come up all the time and then they go back down, and that to them is just boring. There's no excitement in it.
Like us, see them.
No,
we're boring to Sky.
We're boring to Sky. We are boring, Lynn. We're with you. Maybe that's why you like us. We're boring to Sky. We never do anything. So they want someone who'll come up and go, and then it's like Leeds. Oh, first thing the CEO said was, "We've got a plan for Champions League." It's like, fuck no. Another one. Another team we've got a plan for Champions League. Another one.
QPR, Fulham.
Blackburn. But everyone loves that. Everyone loves that story of because it's almost like they can watch them try and then fail. And it's that. They love it. They love it. So they'll love a Brentford coming up rather than a West Brom, I think. We'll have to wait and see what happens. But
Richard Parr says, proper classic film, The Thing, Kurt Russell at his best. Gary Ward agrees and says...
His best was Overboard.
Yeah, Overboard's a classic, him and Goldie. Cowpat Sid says, if Spurs finish 7th but Arsenal win the FA Cup, Spurs won't get European football. Correct. Terry says, just on the graphic of Goodison Park on the wall, can you imagine how it'll feel when the day comes when you replace that with a picture of Bramley Moore?
Never. Why would we replace it?
Do it there, Tess. We'll have Bramley Moore on that one.
That's our spiritual home forever. I want that staying there. I'll have Bramley Moore there.
Bramley Moore there. After 2. That'd be interesting. Wim Hendrick says, hi everyone, glad to finally catch you live. Hello, Wim. Gaz says, would you try throwing Dom back in midfield and work on getting a striker?
No.
No, not for me. This thing with Dominic Calvert-Lewin, this is just my opinion, and I might be wrong. I'm just saying it. Because people seem to be very upset when people have opinions.
Or
Dominic Calvert-Lewin's our top goal scorer this season. So why would we move him somewhere else? Why don't people say, why don't we play Richarlison in the middle or at right back? It's like Richarlison's like the man who gets all the goals. And I love Richarlison, but Dom's no worse than Richarlison. We've got 2 lads who've got 30 goals between them. Should they have another 10 between them? Absolutely. But that's what you're trying to build towards. What we need is a proper midfield player who can get up and down and add goals. We need a right winger who can score half a dozen goals. And then we start to... Then nobody will be talking about Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Nobody. That's just
Andy,
my
right.
take.
Well, Andy, Big Trouble in Little China, definitely makes
That's
amazing.
A good film.
More escaping from New York's like the character's amazing, the film's crap. But, I get what you're saying. Who's made the most chance for us this season? It's clearly Dean. How many has he made for us?
67.
Has he? Okay. If you had a midfielder who made another 50 or 60 chances, how many goals would Dominic Calvert-Lewin? I think Dominic Calvert-Lewin is what I've said it loads of times. Dominic Calvert-Lewin is not a natural goal scorer. He's not an ice in your vein goal scorer. He's a player who will go through runs where he doesn't score. He's on one right now, and then he'll get one, and then he'll go on a run. But in the games that we've played, genuinely, I would say, out of the games we've come back from, I'd only say that in only 2 of those games he didn't do his centre forward job. He should have scored, but he did his job. Against Sheffield United, I thought he had a good game, a really good game. I thought he worked it, especially as playing up on his own. I thought he worked the bollocks off. He defended from the front. He got stuck in when he needed to. On another day, he would have scored a couple of goals. It just didn't happen for him. But this thing for Evertonians, where it's just like, as soon as people hit a bad run, that you just get rid of them. When they've come off a good run, I find strange. It strange.
Yeah, okay. There you go. There you go.
Am I watching Fight Island with Darren Till? No, I couldn't care less.
No. 1878 MPH says, do you think Holgate could play the Hoiberg role?
Yeah, he could do, and that might be. It's funny, isn't it? Because Till Dunk played in that role. None of us had really considered it.
No.
And then he played against Leicester, I think, didn't he? And played against Crystal Palace a little bit in that game. So he can play it. It's just whether they think he's better as a centre-back. Will we have a lot? We might have. It might be a case of having to. But what you want to do is you want to buy someone who plays in that role. That's their job. They know the job. Alan's the one who's been talked about. And I've not... Listen, I don't sit around watching loads of footy. I just listen to what other people say to me. And other people seem to think that he's a good player and he will do the job. Right? So I would love us to go back in for him and get him and be like, that's Carlo Ancelotti's player. That's the one he's wanted. I know loads of people maybe don't feel like because of his age and because maybe what it takes to get out of Napoli, they go against us as a football club. But if the manager genuinely feels like that could be the player, then let's go and get him. Let's go and get him.
Daniel Sato says, hi from Los Angeles. Love the channel, even though I can only understand half of the Scouse laughing my ass off. I feel like we need to sell half the team to improve, but is that even possible? Well, we can't sell half of it, can we? Certainly not in one window. And you need people to want to buy your players, don't you? You just got to build slowly, I guess, and hope that we move forward.
3 at a time, I think.
It's all we can do, really. It's all we can do.
Maybe 3 in, 2 out. Do that for the next couple of windows.
Kevin Morales, God says, do you think we have to get rid of players like Iwobi if we want to move forward as a club?
I think something with Iwobi is, does the manager feel like he fits the way he wants to do things? And that's the big problem. If he played 3 in midfield all the time, Iwobi might do a job for us. But I can't see him playing 3 all the time. He might start experimenting with it, I don't know. But I just don't see him playing wide. I just don't see him getting anything out of him wide. And if that's the case, then I would sell him as early as possible. While he's still got value, he's still young, and he can go somewhere else and get on with his career, and we can get a player in. It's not, at times, I don't think there's anything wrong with saying, not necessarily you've made a mistake, but that it didn't work. And I think the earlier you recognise that it hasn't worked, the better. I don't think there's a point continually trying to put a square peg in a round hole, because it just isn't going to fit. And if it does fit, it's because you've smashed up the hole. So yeah. I don't think players naturally always work out. We've seen some amazing deals get done, and then you go, oh, why didn't that work? At all different clubs. I remember it will always happen. Players will be amazing at one club and then come to another club and it just won't work for whatever reason.
Sovlove says, going to join on Patreon. Is it like YouTube where we can watch vids at any time?
Yeah.
Yes, you can watch, and you get all the podcasts and there's a
podcast. Everything
forum.
We do comes out in podcasts as well. Let me just say that every video we do comes out on a podcast. If you haven't got time, you just they'll be there for you, all of them, if you just want it in podcast form. We've got a forum over there. You get discounts on the merchandise as well. Honestly, for £3 a month, it's a steal. It's just and it's not like a subscription where we're gonna tie you in. It's monthly as well. So if you have to drop out for whatever reason, you don't think we're good enough value, or you just can't afford us that month, and you just drop out. We're not going to hold it against you, but if you do, I'll come round to your house, because I know all your addresses.
And he'll sing.
All of your addresses.
He'll come round and sing to you.
That wouldn't be a bad thing, actually.
Yeah. Nicky Styles says, favourites ever, non-Everton kit. Lads, mine's Italy 2000. You're the kit connoisseur, you love kits. So.
I have got the Italy 98 kit in there. Nike, Del Piero 10 on the back. I bought it with my first ever pay packet when I got a job on Merseyrail in 1998. In fact, my first day getting trained on Merseyrail was the day the World Cup kicked off. I literally legged it home from town and got in just as Scotland versus Brazil was kicking off. And I bought 2 things, and you'll know one thing, because I remember. So I bought the Everton kit. And I cut we played the friendly against each other, and I cut it, and I remember seeing you, and you went, "Alla Gary Speed." I always remember that because we didn't even know each other like properly, and we just always seen each other when we played footy. And you would look, and it was the first thing I'd done.
Just cut out.
The kit was the classic '98 kit that we nearly got relegated in. But Gary Speedo, and the kit looked boss without that.
Yeah, without the
white
thing, it looked well better.
The first thing I done, I bought it from Dirty Soccer.
Dirty
But I had to order the Italy one. I bought it from like, the shops you saw in the back of like the match in the shoot.
Yeah,
where you'd see all the kits, but you couldn't buy them. And I bought the Italy one, and I remember vividly they tried to deliver to me out, no one was in. So I had to ask the supervisor because I was on like a double thing. I was getting shadowed while I was in Garston train station. And I remember I had to ring the line manager going, can I go and pick her up? And he was like, you wouldn't normally be allowed to. And I was like, I know, but I'll never get it unless I go now. And he was like, yeah, you can go and get it. And remember, it's in the box. They've still got it. It's amazing. Absolute amazing kit. I think that's my favourite. I've also got the Italian 91 with Ancelotti's number on it as well, number 9. That's over there in the corner.
Any Brazil kits for me is the...
I had the Brazil 98 kit as well. And the way you just start like messing with kits. And I think what it was, we had a 5-side team and we had yellow shirts. And I think someone played and I was like, yeah, I'll throw that in the bag, and you just don't get them back. And now those kits are worth a fortune. That's the most, that's the mad thing.
Steve S says Aurelio Baines signs for another year. It'll be another quality player we'll need if not. Gav says, just think Dom's work rate and fitness is what we need in midfield as well. Callum Evans says, hi guys, signed up to Payton yesterday, been watching Toffee TV for 3 years, loving it. What's your opinion on Hoiberg, and do you think we still need a centre-back after seeing Branthwaite perform against Sheffield United?
I mean, I honestly didn't necessarily feel we needed a centre-back anyway. But it is that thing now of Gabriel now, isn't it? We've started, so I'll finish. It is that thing of like...
It's because you look at him and you go, he looks like he could be really good, and we were getting him, do you know what I mean? I think that's what the thing is. Lynn says we stayed up for 7 seasons last time.
I know, Lynn, but what I'm saying was, you're not very, like us, you're not very exciting. And I don't mean that, that's just fact. You're not exciting. That's just
Start
fact.
winning things.
I apologize. I'm not being audible when I say that. You're like us, you're not exciting. Sky is built. Don't forget as well, Brentford are like, they want people to come in and be like, oh, we got loads of Brentford. They want new shiny things all the time. It's why they're absolutely. We know what's happening in about 4 hours, don't we? And it's on Sky One, and it's on Sky because they want as many people because they can't. This to them tonight is like for Sky is like
Christmas Eve, isn't it?
It is. This is the big one tonight. They've been waiting for this for 30 years because they know how many people will be tuning into it because of all the telly fans. We're not like that. In fact, what I would say is because your fans, like our fans, go the match, there's less people watching it. So, there you go. King Arthur, USA. Well, we can't go anywhere. I was due to go to California in June, but obviously because America's a big dirty country, I couldn't go. And it's I'm probably won't be able to go till next June now. I think we're going to rebook it for next June. Anthony Maguire says, mashed beans and ketchup.
No.
Great combo. No. There's far too many. There's too much liquid.
Your missus is right, Anthony. Not a great idea, that, mate, honestly.
Oh, your ass is going to be rancid.
Oh, all right, pet. No need for that. Cameron bought the Brazil 02 shirt the other week.
Oh, we have got, in here, we've got a Brazil 2012 top. And we've got a Brazil, what's the other one we've got?
02.
Oh, we've got the 98 with Ronaldo on the back. 02 and 98, we've got them here. They're from our Uchi website.
Phil Williams says, Bazzi's the best player you played against in a competitive match. Ryan Giggs, when I played for Burnley, it's Man United. He was Ryan Wilson, and he was incredible. Played against Steve McMahon, and he was brilliant. But Giggs, really, was the best. And didn't go on to have a bad career, really, did he? So. Steve EFC says, can get Ancelotti Italian top on your site? That'd be a good spell. A good sell. Can they get Ancelotti Italian shirt on our site? No. But it would, you're right, but it would
other
be.
Carlo Ancelotti stuff on our site.
Yeah, but he's talking about the kit.
I mean, no, we haven't got a sweatshop, sorry.
T-Dog 082 is just joined patron here from the States. Is right, lad. Welcome. Gary will welcome you anyway on our behalf. So there you go.
I can't show the kits off because honestly they're in a box. One day, next week, like next Wednesday, I'll get the kit box here and I'll just show you the kits we've got in the kit box. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. It's just kits we've got in the kit. In fact, in this studio alone, there's loads of kits in the studio and they're all mine. I've got Inter Milan ones in here. I've got Real Madrid ones in here from all kinds of years. We've got Juventus ones. We've got Beckham Real Madrid, Beckham LA Galaxy. There's all kinds. There's loads of MLS ones. There's loads all over the studio. So I can't do it right now. There you go.
Liveavid's 84-85 is his favourite kit. Roger Do Bombers says, I'm not too sure about your club, but do your best to snag some midfielders from Barca. We do like to get a Barcelona player.
Now and again.
Every now and again, don't we?
Now and again.
Patrick Farrell, Brazil 94 blue kit when Maradona was off his head.
He was playing for Argentina.
Reece Colburn says, have we looked into the Jeffrey Epstein case? I haven't watched.
I've watched the one on Netflix.
Filthy Rich yet, which I'm going to watch.
But it does open your eyes up to a lot of things, I would say. And it just made it even funny when Trump wished her well yesterday, which is literally one of the... I can't believe how awful that statement is. But not only that, he was like, oh, yeah, I remember them, like, when they lived not far from each other. Yeah, mate, there's all kinds of pictures with them, or with you knocking around with them, and they're legit. But wishing someone well when they are up in a, basically, paedophilia case is horrendous. It's horrendous. That is horrendous. Yeah, but expect not less.
Gazzy FC says, remember the overtop USA shirt from the World Cup 94? Didn't it have like the stars?
My mate had that kit at the time and he wasn't even into footy. And I remember his half I just bought him. There was one that was denim, wasn't he? One like was a denim colour. They were both Adidas. One was like a denim colour and one had like, and with all stars on.
The stars
they're both, and one was red and white stripes. And they're so unique. It's incredible. Like the denim one, like I think now they're like, you pay a fortune to get hold of one of those kits now. They're absolutely so unique. That World Cup 94 was incredible. It was so like everything was so like blown out of proportion. Because I mean, Diana Ross missed
the pen and the goal part of it anyway. Yeah. But it was brilliant, but ended in the rub.
Oh, King Arthur Trump is an absolute dickhead, mate.
Oh, stop.
No, he's a dickhead.
We're not talking about Trump. We had this the other week.
He's a dickhead.
We had this the other week. We're not.
Oh my God.
Not doing.
He's a dickhead.
We're not doing. He's on one side. You're on the other.
Leave it. I'm just saying.
Leave it.
He's a dickhead.
Keith Powell wants to know if he could do a Toffee TV version of What I Wore on Patreon. That's you, just you.
Oh, he's a dickhead.
Please,
sorry, I can't. No, I've got to have my opinion. He's a dickhead.
Leave it.
He's a dickhead.
Leave it. Where are we? Matthew Lamb.
Cameron Thomas says, what players did you look up to as kids? What player would you
look up to?
Yeah, what player did you look up to? Like, did you want to be
be?
Or I don't know.
I loved Zico at Brazil, but obviously that was something because the mystique was there.
Yeah, because we didn't get to see him. Didn't
see him. Wasn't in Europe. Platini was an unbelievable footballer. He was brilliant. He really was like a great footballer. Adrian Heath was me Everton one who I loved. I loved Andy Gray as well and Lineker. But like Platini and people like that.
I wasn't really... I mean, Baggio, 1990. Which, funny enough, and I'm not name dropping here, it was actually Michael Branch who got me onto Baggio. He had an Italy shirt. He had that Italy shirt with Baggio 15 on the back.
Oh, did he? Yeah.
And I didn't really know. And I remember playing footy with him in the street. I didn't really know much about Baggio. But then this was before the tournament. And I didn't really know much about Baggio, and then obviously during the tournament he started coming off the bench and he scored that brilliant goal, and that's when I started. And then I really loved
Full
Baggio.
ponytailed up.
What makes you laugh about Baggio is 94. He single-handedly carried Italy to that World Cup final, and then was completely destroyed because he missed a penalty. But he single-handedly got them there. He was amazing, and that sort of defined his career, and that's really sad because he was amazing in that. Italy were brilliant after they'd been beaten by Ireland. So Baggio was someone I loved. Van Basten. And Van Basten was another one that you saw glimpses of him, of his best years between like 88 and 92. You seen glimpses of him, but there was never the coverage.
He got done by his tackle from behind, didn't he? And it ruined him.
He was amazing. He had to retire when he was 29. He's one of the most natural goal scorers, natural strikers I've ever seen. If anyone go and watch his videos on YouTube from the goals he scored for Ajax and AC Milan. Him, Rijkaard, and I remember him, Rijkaard, and Hull played for AC Milan, and then 3 Dutch, and then Inter Milan had 3 Germans. So they had Klinsmann, Brennan, and Matthäus. So it was this weird
Andreas Bremer.
And because the Dutch hate the Germans, it led to this really weird thing of it didn't.
It's a different edge.
It became this different edge.
Not that Matthäus was brilliant.
So it was very unique. But I remember watching 88 in the Euros, and Van Basten, how good he was, and obviously the goal he scored. And I used to idolise those players when I was a kid. But funny enough, but in terms of looking up to a player, going out in my teens, late teens, started playing right midfield, and I used to just watch Beckham all the time because the way he played was so unique. He was never a flying winger. No. Everything was a pass. Beckham's crosses were just unbelievable.
Didn't have a trick, did he?
He didn't have it. He didn't need. You know what his trick was? Gary Neville. His trick was Gary Neville. Gary Neville would go on the outside.
And he just
created a yard for him, and then he just whipped these crosses in. They were unbelievable. And then when he went a little bit central, the way he could strike a ball was amazing. And when he went to Madrid, I remember when he went to Madrid, and it was a brilliant start, and then he got took out the team, and then it was he had to come back into the team, and then he helped Madrid win the league for the first time in 4 years, because it was the first time they'd won it while he was there, and he kept on just setting up every goal for Ronaldo and Zidane, and it was incredible. He was an incredible footballer, but it all came from hard work and technique. He didn't have a trick, like you said. He didn't really seem to have.
He just worked hard.
He was just amazing.
He just worked hard, didn't he? Holly Fletcher wants to know if it was your choice to pick a new goalie to replace Pickford, who would you go for?
I don't know.
Donnarumma.
There you go.
I mean, it'd be ridiculous to try to get him, but he would be a brilliant.
There you go.
Brilliant footballer, brilliant goalkeeper. Anthony Maguire says, love a bit of Pirlo, hell of a player. Patrick Farrell says, R.I.P. Big Jack.
Oh, yeah.
Tony Dwyer says, Gary Stevens, loved him. Non-EFC player was Chris Waddle. Waddle was a good footballer. Zico played for Udinese, as well worth reading up on how they got him. Who do you think that's off? Piverage.
Gazi FC said, I loved Dennis Bergkamp.
Yeah, he was amazing. King Arthur, yes, broke my leg before going to Canada, before I was supposed to go to Canada. Tom Bruce says, lads, do you reckon we'll be able to take our seats home from Goodison after the last game?
I'm taking it home anyway.
Just take it.
I'm taking it.
Take it, regardless. Where are we? It keeps going off. King Arthur says Beckham was overrated. Nah, I don't think he was, mate. The way he struck a ball was incredible.
He was amazing.
Absolutely incredible. Pablo Honey, Stevens or Coleman? Stevens. I love Seamus Coleman, but Stevens, incredible. But King Arthur, Scholes are the best United. Scholes was amazing. He was amazing. But Beckham was brilliant.
I didn't play in his position. I played right midfield, and I didn't really have any pace. So it was all. I'd look at him, Beckham, to see what you look at the best. He was amazing. He was an amazing player. I think people look back and go, don't give him the credit he deserves, because because they go, he didn't do this, he didn't do that. Well, yeah, he didn't do this and didn't do that. But what he did do was completely different to anyone else. No one could do. No one. Beckham was. He
had ice in his veins.
He was a centre midfielder, basically, who probably wasn't good enough to play centre midfield. So changed the way he played. So basically play centre midfield out on the right. And I remember then it was funny because Liverpool started with Gerrard, and that's how Gerrard got amazing, by playing out on the right. He was playing centre midfield, he wasn't having a great time, and he went, we'll play him out wide, and suddenly become this...
His
deliveries were amazing.
Mikey John's absolutely spot on. R9, the most natural goal scorer to have played the game. Ridiculous play. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely unbelievable footballer. And it's in some respects, it's so frustrating that he's
getting it across to people.
Yeah, that he isn't around now, because they literally would. Messi is one of the most technically gifted footballers, if not the most technically gifted footballers to play the game of football. But R9 was just unbelievable. He had the technique, the pace, the power. His finishing was unbelievable. And the lids don't see it. The FIFA generation don't see it because it's on grainy YouTube videos. But he was unbelievable.
Even one thing with Ronaldo is that the Ronaldo obviously that started his career wasn't the same Ronaldo who finished his career, because he'd been decimated by injuries because people kicked the crap out of him. And they were legally allowed to kick the crap out of him because he was so good. You know, you've seen it in games. They go out to hate him because they couldn't stop him. And so by the time he got to Real Madrid, Galacticos, his knee had been in his thigh. His kneecap was in his thigh. Done both knees.
He was just unbelievable.
But he was unbelievable. But to be fair, we grew up with loads of players like that.
Batistuta. Oh my God, what a player.
Just one of the most natural, like, ice in your veins. My God, he lived in the Arctic Pole. He was...
The Arctic Pole,
The Arctic Pole, yeah, I know. I've crossed me Arctic Pole.
I think he was amazing, though, Shevchenko, before he went. People think of Shevchenko at Chelsea and go, wow, he was brilliant for Kiev and he was brilliant for Milan. But Batistuta was another level. Ronaldo with different levels.
So just go back and watch some of the goals he scored.
Raul was unbelievable for Real Madrid.
Even when Batistuta was supposed to be finished and left for Fiorentina and went to Roma and then helped win Roma the league with Totti. It was amazing. It was incredible. It was just like...
he was amazing.
Right, come on.
All right, Steve AFC says my favourite player was Kanchelskis. Hell of a footballer. Alan Ball says, do you think Usmanov will join us and use his money to transform the team? I don't know, possibly. I mean, he's there, isn't he? He's in the background. I just don't know at the moment whether there'd be anything we could do at the minute that would allow us, with the way FFP and the Premier League regulations are. So that money's there, even if we had Usmanov. I don't know whether he could actually use it at the moment because of the regulations. So I don't know. Larizzle says, Baz and Ped, what you do is your job. This is our job. We are a media company. That's what we are. Where are we? Liam Heller says Ronaldinho. Ronaldinho's amazing as well as a footballer. But my God, he was skill-wise, mate. He was unbelievable.
But he decided to pack it in, didn't he? Let's be honest.
There was other stuff.
No, I know, but he decided that. When Barca got rid of him, he just decided that was it. He was retiring, basically, wasn't it? Which is stupid, but that's just the way it goes.
Jay Davis, 1878, says R9 bounced off players in the early days, skipping over Grox with ease. Best ever centre forward, my favourite non-Everton player. Mikey John says if R9 was playing now, Messi and Cristiano wouldn't have nowhere near the Ballon d'Ors to explain. Can't explain his kind of talent to my kids. He was unreal. He was absolutely amazing, and anyone who kind of dismisses him doesn't know what he was like. Maradona was amazing. Michael Laudrup was unbelievable as well. Roberto Baggio. Adventures of Steve says, would you take Sangari from Toulouse? Absolutely. I'd take him now. In fact, again, I'd go now and pick him up in my car. Lavavid's favourite player was Peter Reid. Joseph Cross says, hi, Baz and Ped, greetings from Ireland. Great second half performance against Sheffield. Do you think Southampton midfield player would sign and the greatest player was Bob Latchford? I don't think. I I'm doubtful about Hoiberg. Doesn't mean he won't sign for us, but at the minute, I'm a bit doubtful because I just think. But it could be Southampton playing brilliant games. I just don't know. Van Basten and Hullett, what a combination, says Steve. 1878 miles per hour. Now a patron is right.
Get
Welcome.
over to patron.
Lynn Babington, Mario Kempes. Kempes, 1-0. 78 World Cup.
He was a very fortunate player, though, I would say. Very
finish,
fortunate.
Yeah.
No, he was. But he was very, very
Great
fortunate.
hair.
Very fortunate because the game in the Argentina 78 World Cup, that was their most important game, was actually at his home ground. And it was just very fortunate for him. I think the stars aligned that World Cup, because don't forget as well, 78. I mean, don't forget, people might even know this, but Johan Cruyff, best player in the world at the time, 78, refused to go to the World Cup in 78. Didn't agree with what was happening in Argentina. It was a political. Well, obviously it was a dingo state, wasn't it? It was a fascist state. And he refused to go. He said, I don't feel safe. And he was the best player in the world. And Holland were the best team. And he refused to go to the World Cup. So the best team didn't have the best player in the world. So the stars aligned. They could have won it anyway. I'm just saying, stars aligned. 78.
6 more likes would be lovely. 150, that'd be nice.
Gary Ward says Pele was amazing.
Pele,
He was.
Yeah. Andy McGregor, the Piv. R9 didn't have the mentality to be Messi or Ronaldo.
Who didn't? Who said that?
Piv.
Oh, behave yourself.
But he did then say he is the most naturally gifted striker I've ever seen.
He definitely did have the mentality. What he didn't have was the knees.
Yeah, he got kicked
He got
everywhere.
there's a picture of him.
Cameron Thomas says penalty to West Ham.
Okay.
Playing at United now.
Okay. There was a picture, literally, of Ronaldo. The worst thing he should never have left Barcelona. There's a picture of him when he got injured one night playing for Inter Milan, and his kneecap was in his thigh. So
1-0.
Ooh,
West Ham.
Manchester United are going to have to do it the hard way.
There you go. Stephen Calvert.
I guess he scored.
What?
I guess he scored.
Oh, big man. It's a pen though, wasn't it?
That's Antonio.
Yeah. Crap.
Top goal scorer since the lockdown.
Paulo Muniz says, shout out to Toffees from Brazil. Just have. Welcome. We loved that.
Handball it was.
We loved that, was it? Yeah. Interesting. West Ham winning 1-0 at the time.
It was a free kick.
Doing this.
And it slammed Pogba. But it hit him in the face, but he had his hand up as well, and it was handball.
Oh, so it's a penalty. Oh, God, Zamorano as well. What a player. Him and the other kid. And what about Recoba? Oh, Marcelo Salas as well.
Well, you know what Zamorano did?
Thanks, Joseph, by the way.
You know what Zamorano did when they give Ronaldo the number 9 shirt at Inter? So he got the 18. No, he got 18.
Oh, yeah. Oh, but the plus the 8
in the middle.
+1.
But it was a proper plus as well.
Yeah,
so it was one. What about Christian Vieri?
Do you
remember?
Left foot.
I remember when he signed for Inter Milan, right?
Unbelievable.
And it was hilarious. He did an interview with the BBC and he was like, all right, mate. And it was like, what? It was like, he was an Italian international, but he was actually Australian. And he was like, oh, yeah, can't wait to play with Ronaldo. It's going to be, Struth, mate. We're going to go the bottle out.
Left foot.
Honestly, he was proper Australian.
Left foot was brilliant. Absolutely.
Right, let's leave it
great
there.
Great trips down
Let's leave it. That's what you get with us. You get
great trips.
Because know why? Because we're old enough to remember.
Pogba did at Ashley Williams.
Yeah, against Crystal Palace.
There
you go. Right, that's us done. We've done well over an hour. We need to get the hell out of here. Matt's got to go. Hey, Matt?
Yeah, Matt.
Got to go home and shave his face. It's important.
Okay.
Right, you need to shave your face first. Got some kind of, it's like an Amish beard. I feel like you should be wearing a real big top hat.
Can I be you?
You're not. You're not. You can't be me with that haircut. That's actually that haircut. No, it's not similar. Don't ever say our hair is
Guys
similar.
said Dennis Bergkamp, another classic.
It's not similar at all. You need to get